Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Brian with Fishers Off-Road, and today I'm answering a question for Mike out of Nova Scotia, Canada. And Mike has an R-Max 4-seater. He's got a question about tires. He's running the factory tires, and he also has questions about tire pressure. And when he gets done this year with the tires he currently is running, he's gonna stud them for the winter. And then after that, he's gonna go to a square tire setup. And the thing about a square tire setup, it's one of my favorites. I think it's the best setup you can run on your side-by-side, even if it doesn't come with a square tire setup. I prefer to set it up with a square tire so I know exactly how it's gonna handle. I can carry one spare, I can rotate the tires just like tires on a car. So for me right now, you can see I'm running the Sedona Ridge Saw. I do a lot with Sedona. Sedona is one of our partners. We do a lot of tire testing with our rentals. You know, we own Fishers Off-Road Rentals. We have anywhere from, on average, 20 to 30 side-by-sides that we're running all the time, and we're doing tire tests on those, and we've done a bunch of tests, and typically our tire tests will run anywhere from 5 to 8,000 miles depending on the tire. Some tires don't hold up so well, some tires do really well, and those are the ones that we're gonna run. And for us, Sedona has always kind of been one of those tires that's held up really well. Another really good tire that holds up good for us is the BFG KM3. I know that tire's a little bit more pricey, but it does hold up well. I'm running the same tire on my Jeep. They have a UTV tire, and they have a Jeep truck tire. I'm running 37-inch BFG KM3s on my Jeep. They're holding up great. Even the tires that we run on our UTVs, they do a really good job. And again, the key with the square tire setup is being able to rotate them front to back, back to front, you know, just like your vehicle. You know, every couple thousand miles, you want to rotate those. If you see they're starting to cup, in the front end, you want to start rotating. You don't want to get them to cup too bad, because then your tread's going to be out of line. It's going to wear weird. It's not going to wear as long because that tire is going to have to catch up once it starts cupping. It's just not a good ride, and it's always more expensive whenever you do it that way. Mike is wondering about a 9-inch or 10-inch wide tire whenever he runs a square tire setup. I like to run a 10. The tires I'm running on my R-Max currently are a 30-10-14. That is a Sedona Ridge Saw. The reason I run a 30-10-14 is because I don't really need a 15-inch wheel. Depending on how aggressive you're getting and what kind of riding you're doing, if you're really getting with it and you're doing a lot of hard cornering, you're going to want a little bit bigger wheel, so you might want to run a 15-inch wheel. The bigger the wheel, the less cushy the ride is. And you're also going to have less sidewall roll whenever you're going into corners like that. Whenever you have a smaller wheel, you got a lot more sidewall. The tire's going to flex a little bit more. For me, that's just the kind of riding we do. It works really well. I like to run the Sano bead lock. That's just personal preference. You don't need to run a bead lock. But I know if I do get a flat and I need to get back to the trailhead or camp, I can run that tire and it's not going to come off the wheel. You know, a lot of guys, they don't really need a bead lock. I just like having it for peace of mind and security when I'm out in the middle of nowhere. We do a lot of riding at the Hatfield McCoy Trail, and sometimes we're out there. It'll take us 6-7 hours to get back to camp or wherever we're staying. So if we have a flat tire and don't have a spare along and the tire can't be plugged, that's a big risk without running a bead lock. So for us, we just like to use a bead lock tire. There's a few other tires out there that we've been running. The Trail Saw is really good, the Rockabilly is really good, but since the Trail Saw and the Ridge Saw have come out, those are two of the primary tires that I've been running, because I just think that I have really good success with them. They wear really well, they do a good job, they hold up. One of the things I'd like to say about Mike and talking about the tires that he was running, the factory tires on the Yamaha, he airs them down, those down to 16 pounds, which is going to give him a better ride, but it's also going to decrease the ply rating of that tire. So if you have a 8-ply tire and you take it from 20 pounds down to 12 pounds, you're now decreasing the ply rating of that tire and making that tire more vulnerable to sidewall cuts and punctures. With the Sedona tire, it's like the Rockabilly is an 8 PSI tire, Trail Saw, Ridge Saw is a 10 PSI tire. You're starting at 10 with the maximum load rating on that tire. So you don't have to go any less than 10. So you're not decreasing the load rating on your tires. As a matter of fact, if you want to go from 10 to 12 or 14, that's perfectly fine, and you're still gonna get that same great ride with more stability on that tire if you're running a bigger machine with more weight. If you're running a four-seater and you got a lot of gear and a lot of people, you might want to air up a little bit. So that's one of the benefits to running a Sedona. You don't have to worry about airing down, and you don't have to worry about losing your load rating. That's a big key whenever you are looking at tires. And Mike, it looks like the kind of riding you're doing is kind of a lot of the same stuff we're doing here in Middle Tennessee on our tours, kind of dirt roads, creek crossings, that kind of stuff. So I think the Ridge Saw or the Trail Saw would be great for you when you do go to a square tire setup. I would highly recommend either one of those tires. I just know what works for us and what we like to run on our rentals. I'm just not a fan of sidewall cuts and punctures and fixing tires. So whatever I can do to get that machine to ride the absolute best it can without having flat tires or, you know, getting a lot of punctures, I'm right there with it. I'd rather be riding than fixing tires. Well, there you go, Mike. I hope that helps you out. If you all got any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate you all watching. Take care and have a good one.